Your hair's fine.
How about mine?
A lot of it.
Your hair is fine too.
Oh, thank you.
Hi, Theo.
Hello, everyone.
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
How's
How's everybody doing today?
Very well.
Good.
Fabulous. Awesome.
I'm just letting it.
I know that.
Yeah, I'm letting come. Look at Eric. Oh my! I mean Edwin. Edwin, is there an apocalypse going on behind you? What's going on?
No. It's from Star Trek 3. It's the end of the Enterprise. I had it on for a Trekkie one, and now I'm trying to change my virtual. But actually, I'm trying to get my background off so you can see Rachel.
Hey!
Hey. So we have Theo with us as well. He's the first one to join.
Hello, darlings. How are we all?
We're good.
Got me coffee. So where is everybody?
Let's start with Eric.
New Jersey.
Awesome.
Amanda.
Scotland.
Oh, lovely. Whereabouts?
Stirling.
Okay, amazing. Whereabouts is Stirling? You've got to remind me.
Central.
It's central, is it? Okay. Lovely. Awesome.
Go ahead, Lisa.
Virginia.
West Virginia or Virginia?
No, Virginia.
Oh, lovely. I can't wait to come and visit your awesome state. I'm desperate to travel around there. Fabulous.
Hi, Keith.
Hello.
How are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm good. We're just letting a couple of people in right now. So I'm gonna. We were just going over where everybody was from. So oh, here comes Guy. Let me let a couple more people in, and then we can kind of go back over the where you're from and introduce ourselves as we go.
Cool.
Hi, Guy.
Hey, what's going on?
Hi.
Hi, Guy.
10:30, right?
Yeah, you're perfect. Don't worry. So I think we're up to you, Betty, where you're from.
Texas.
Oh, amazing. The great state of Texas.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm in Big
Which
D.
part?
Dallas.
Dallas. Awesome. Oh, fabulous. I've only been to the airport in Dallas. I've never been anywhere else. Passing through, but I desperately want to go there.
It's a very lovely place. Austin's better though.
Is it? Yeah.
For cool stuff.
Hi, Ty.
Yes, but Dallas has Dealey Plaza and the Texas School Book Depository.
Oh, yeah. I wonder what that's from. I don't know.
Alrighty. I think Kevin is trying to connect to his audio. Hey, Kevin.
Hi there. How are you?
Good. How are you? I think we're just waiting for Rick, I think.
Okay. Ringworthy.
Yeah. Why is he always the last one?
He likes to make an entrance.
He does.
There's a sense of privilege, I feel.
Yeah. All right. So while we wait for him, I am going to just give my little spiel. He knows it already. I am Rebecca. So I've been communicating with all of you, either through your agents or through you directly. And I am the founder of Buddy's Healing Paws. And I just want to say thank you to every single person on this Zoom for your donations, your bids, your donation of your time to this. This is a charity that is so important to me and near and dear to my heart, and started fairly recently, actually, after my own dog, Whiskey, had to have hip replacement surgery. And this was at the height of COVID. I had no job, no income, and it was costing me $10,000 to do.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so I had to turn to the animal loving community because insurance wasn't helping. And I was able to get support and be able to pay for this surgery that I otherwise wouldn't have been able to do. A lot of people came to me with their stories saying they had similar situations. Some people even said they had to put their pet down because they needed life-saving surgery they couldn't afford, and otherwise their dog was going to suffer, or their cat. It didn't seem fair to me that this was happening. So I said, something has to be done. And that's where this came about. And the name, I could wait for Rick, but I don't know where he is. So I'm just going to tell you. The name is actually Buddy's Healing Paws, is named after Rick's dog, Buddy, who passed away about a year ago. Rick is a very good friend of mine, and I couldn't imagine naming the charity after any other dog. So that's my little backstory spiel about this.
Whiskey's a pretty good name too, though.
Thank you. Thank you. It was the only name my boyfriend and I could agree on after like 5 or 6 days of trying to decide a name. And I'm like, this dog needs a name. We can't do this.
And after a few whiskeys, you know.
Yes,
there you go.
exactly. Hi, Fred.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, how
Rebecca,
are
good to
you?
see you.
You
Long
too.
time.
I know. I'm surprised you remembered me.
Oh, of course.
So
I'm glad to be here.
yeah, there's a lot of people here with, I'm gonna message Rick and be like, where are you, Mike? I think actually he might have messaged me.
I just sent him a message on Instagram, actually.
Oh, did you? Where are
Yeah.
you?
He's going to get flooded with notifications.
Yeah.
Who are you?
He said he'll be here in 3 minutes. So why don't we kind of get started without him, because I don't want to, make everybody sit here and stare at each other. So I figured the best way to do this is to do it as kind of a Q&A, so everybody has a chance to talk, and we can, get to know each other and just kind of chat. So if that works for everybody, what I want to do is just, if you have a question, just raise your hand. So that way we know who's going to talk and there's no interruptions or, people kind of talking over one another. So does anybody have a question?
Go.
Nobody?
I think the sitting here and staring at each other is going quite well.
All right, go ahead,
personally.
Edwin.
Off mute.
Before you do any questions,
Yeah.
I would like to say the reason why I'm so keen to be here today
Oh, absolutely.
is that I lost my beloved Carlos some 5 years ago, and I only wish that my family weren't having dinner upstairs, because I loved my dog so much that I have a bronze statue of him in the living room. And it's too heavy to carry up here to this room, but I think that's the way we care about our animals, and so it's very important. And he did, he was a lurcher, which is like sort of small greyhound, and did burst a ligament, and we were fortunate enough, as I can hear from what you say, that was an expensive operation, but we did have insurance, and he was able to live out the rest of his life in comfort. So it's a great thing that you're doing, and thank you very much.
Well, thank you, and thank you for sharing your story, and for being an animal lover and for being a part of this.
Well, I'll add to it, since Kevin's
yeah.
established this line of sort of conversation, because I personally love animals, but I grew up with cats, and cats are notoriously independent. And so, cat owners kind of become like cats, the way that everyone becomes like their pets. But my wife she grew up with Labrador. She's extremely close to animals. And we've had our cat for a couple of years, and she always laughs and jokes that she couldn't possibly love a human the way, more than she loves the cat. So she considers the cat her firstborn. And we just had our first human child, about 10 weeks ago, and she says,
Congratulations.
thank you so much. Just sort of slip that in there, which is why the bags. But she says, no, I still feel as passionately parent of my cat as I do of my 10-week-old baby. So I really, when you inquired, I was like, I've got to do this. My wife's really obsessed with animals. We always donate. We make cash donations and stuff to local animal shelters and things like that. And hopefully we will get a rescue dog once we've bought the house that we're trying to buy right now. So,
I'm very pleased you say that about rescue dogs. I had a very difficult conversation in the street the other day with a lady I know, a rather famous film director, actually, and who lost her husband recently. I mention all these things because it informed the way I responded to her saying that she was about to buy a dog from a farm. And I really wanted to have a conversation with her about that, but I didn't feel, given the circumstances, I could, because I think, as we all know, there are so many babies needing homes that we've really got to do something about that farm trade. It's bad, man.
Yeah.
Well
yeah,
said.
I agree.
Hey, Rick.
Hey, Rick.
Rick's joined us.
Good morning.
Rick, I'm glad you could get out of the bar. Very nice to see you.
Hi, Betty. I love you. I miss you. And I'm drinking some wine at 10:30 a.m. California time just for you, darling.
Nice.
Dressed up.
I miss you horribly.
Babe, I'm going to do a little show and tell. Hi, Theo. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hi,
Hey.
Lisa. Kevin. Hey, man.
Rick.
I haven't seen you
Hey.
since, I think, Birmingham.
Yes.
I'm going to do a little show and tell. This is the beautiful tie that Betty got me.
Looks gorgeous.
Oh, that's
Yes.
spectacular.
And this is my very first time wearing it, and I've been waiting for a special occasion. So this is the perfect time.
Nice.
Great. Can
we-
I ask one question?
Yeah.
I want to ask the big Zoom question.
Oh, boy.
Hands up who is actually wearing pants.
Are wearing pants?
Yeah.
Eric,
We're wearing pants.
Yeah, I'm wearing pants.
It's short,
Yes.
short,
Okay,
so
good.
it's sort of
Yeah.
50-50, really.
No, he takes the piss out of me because every time I come on a Zoom call, I mouthwash and put some cologne on. Like anyone can smell you, and I'm like, it's just habit, you know.
Not required, Edwin, not required.
it's okay to get pretty.
That's right.
Very true.
So Rick, I was just telling everyone.
Wait, I just saw a guy. Hey, man,
What's up?
I'm gonna hug the screen. Oh, man.
I miss you, pal.
I miss you too, buddy. Man, it's been forever since I've seen your face, man. You look awesome as always, and just, man, I can't wait till we can play again.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So I was just telling them, Rick, about the charity and how you and I are connected from it and our past. I was also
I'm gonna give you a kiss.
oh, hugs.
How many glasses? Which number is that glass?
3 or 4.
This is just last number one. So.
Yeah. And I was also saying that we're going to kind of do this as a Q&A, so that way everybody has a chance to talk and interact. We did it for the ladies, and it worked out really nicely. So I think that's kind of where we were headed in that direction. I asked if anyone had any questions. At the moment, no one did. Maybe they do now. Oh, there's Edwin. There you go.
Edwin does.
Edwin.
Hey, hi. Nice to see you all. Thanks for coming along today. Just a quick diversion. Kevin, nice to see you. I saw you recently on a Poldark 45th anniversary Zoom, which was very nice. So
Yes, hi Edwin, nice to see you again.
yeah, and we're doing Robin's recipes now and eating some really nice Mediterranean food, and we can't get over
Beautiful food.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds good.
And the other thing is, Fred, we were watching. Now we've got Peacock TV, and we were watching Mr. Mercedes season 2. And you showed up, and I blanked on your name, and I just shouted at the screen, "Oh my God, it's Yellow Eyes!" Right? So,
As people always do.
I guess my question to you all is, like, when you're recognized out in public, do people know your name, or do they just refer to you by your supernatural character name or any TV character name?
It's usually the character. I had a month or two ago, I had a guy jump out on the street in Manhattan and yell a name at me, and I thought he mistook me for someone, and I maintained 6 feet distance and went on. And about a block later, I went, "Oh, that was my character's name in an episode of Firefly back in 1980." Just
That's a great show.
Back when I was doing The Equalizer in New York, I was walking down the street and someone yelled out at me, "Hey, Equalizer man!"
I did a Zoom reunion for Twilight, and they asked me about my character, and I was like, I don't remember my character's name. Remind me, who did I play? Oh, right.
Oh, they'll correct you.
Yeah.
I'm from Detroit, Michigan, and I went home for the holidays last year. And on my flight back to LA, back to Vancouver, it's like a 6 a.m. flight, one of those early crazy flights. I was tired as hell. I just wanted to get some, Starbucks and sit down and wait for my flight. And this guy comes up to me and he kind of, slowly creeps up to me. And then he says, "Excuse me, has anyone ever told you that you look just like this actor named Rick Worthy?" And I said, I sometimes get that,
I was in a market in Los Angeles, and this guy comes up to me and he says, "Hey, Tony, how you doing? It's me, Jerry." And I said, "I'm not Tony." He goes, "Oh, I know." He thought I was Tony Goldwyn. who is 5 inches taller than me, and he went to high school with Tony, I guess, and he followed me around going, okay, I won't let anybody know it's you. And I'm trying to convince him I'm not Tony Goldwyn. He didn't believe me.
Well, that's
I had a similar one to Rick, though I'm probably the least recognizable person on this Zoom, actor-wise. But we moved to Santa Barbara last year, and I was jogging nearby, and you know, it was kind of like waiting for a work permit, haven't worked in a few months, you're just feeling a bit like, oh God, when am I going to earn some money? When am I going to get another acting job? Am I never going to get another acting job? Which I'm sure crosses everyone's mind every few minutes. And I was just jogging, and a lady sort of was staring at me as she was jogging up to me, and then stopped. And then so I felt sort of compelled to stop. It's quite a surreal experience. So she goes, it's you, isn't it? I was like, I don't know. She goes, no, are you or you look like him? I was like, who are you talking about? She said, you that Christmas prince, the Count Simon. You look like him, don't you? I was like, oh, I am that guy. She's like, it's you. It's me. And then I was like, well, it's Santa Barbara, and so we made friends. We became Facebook friends, and now we go jogging together. It's like so surreal. Cool. So that was a nice way to be welcomed to a new town, to sort of be recognized. Yeah, you know, not really.
When I there are some very nice. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. When I first started to get recognized, I remember I was in a Starbucks one time. I was behind a guy in line getting my coffee, and I remember the guy kept staring at me, and I was like, I remember going, "Who the fuck are you eyeballing, man?" Like you know, staring me down. So I started looking at him like, "Really? You want to do this?" And then I walked up, and he happened to be another actor in my agency who recognized me, and I was like,
"Oh no!"
And you don't realize that people are starting to recognize who you are from your work and stuff. And at first, I remember scowling at people and thinking, "What the hell are you doing? Why are you looking at me like that?" And it was a weird adjustment period to realize, "Oh no, it's okay that people stare at you now. It's fine."
It's a compliment.
I did have someone once come up to me in a restaurant and say, "Hey, you know, you look like that guy in Pirates of the Caribbean." And I said, "Well, actually, it is me." And he went, "Yeah, you fucking wish." And walked off.
That's a good one.
Yeah. The other terrible thing that happened to me, I was doing a play in England once, and a woman, this young girl, sent a message backstage and said, "I'd really like to meet you afterwards." And you're always careful about stuff like that, but she seemed okay. And I met her for a drink, and she went, "I am so excited to meet you." She said, "I just loved your work in the Billy Plays," which was a series of TV shows on the television. And I went, "Oh God, that was Ken Branagh." And she went, "Oh, okay, I guess I'll see you."
Oh my God.
So there's a very belittling element to some of this stuff as well.
So this is how famous we all are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of remember the first time I met Ty. It was in the Jersey Con, and we're sitting in a restaurant, and my niece goes, "Oh, it's Benny." I'm looking like, "No, it's not. He wouldn't be here. No way." And yeah, it was. So it was pretty cool meeting you that way.
Yeah. Jersey, that was a while ago.
That was a while ago, yes.
That was the guy who interrupted your dinner. That was
Edwin, you weren't supposed to tell him that.
Guy, have you had any experiences like that? I mean, I know your face is so recognizable within, especially the supernatural fandom.
Not really. Not really. I mean, the conventions have been a hoot because, you know, people know I'm going to be there, so they're looking out, and so it's been fun. I mean, the one I did in Birmingham years ago, they had a nice green room set up, and we're to only be escorted with guys in suits back and forth to the panels. And I looked around and I said, "Guys, nobody's going to mob me or bother me. Let me go." So they're like, "All right, have at it." And so I went out and with a cup of tea, or I probably started drinking beer at like 11 o'clock in the morning, and just would find people standing in line for photos or autos or whatever, and just start talking. It was crazy, the amount of people from all over Europe, and it was the greatest experience in the world. And they sort of encouraged me not to leave that green room and play video games with Mark Shepard's sons. And I love the guys, but Anyway, so conventions like that happens, but other than that, no.
Oh, Betty's got a question. Go ahead, Betty.
Well, as for Guy, I almost ran over him with my car in the downtown of Vancouver. He was walking and I was stopped and let the guy by and I just went, "That's Guy." Yeah, I know who you are.
Cool.
What's so surreal for me is I've been watching all of you for years and years. And I can't even believe I'm talking to you, which is just astounding.
Was that you?
I've been watching Fred forever. And he was in Firefly, he was in X-Files, he was in, let's see, what was the other one I was thinking about? Several other, I mean, you guys are like in all of my favorite things. And I saw Rick for the very first time in While You Were Sleeping.
Oh my God.
And he was also in my favorite Star Trek series. And it's like on and on and on. It's like,
you never told me that.
No, it's funny. And now I'm friends with Rick, and I love and adore you.
I love and adore you too.
Which Star Trek series?
And it's just so, thanks for being
here. We also just because of the supernatural, I mean, it's because of supernatural that, all this is happening, And, I became friends with Betty and Rebecca and Guy and Ty and now Theo. And, it's this kind of huge, massive, awesome family, sometimes dysfunctional. I'll take credit for that. I own my craziness.
The picture.
I have the picture of Eric, and Edwin, it's supernatural sort of just gelled. I've been, I humbly say across a couple of different genre, shows. And supernatural is the one that, it's the most meaningful and the biggest impact, So, friends for life, really, it's I think it's wonderful.
It is amazing how the show has assembled this kind of massive family, both between the fans and the actors who've kind of been in the show and been associated with the show, and you carry it around with you forever and ever. And it's like it remains,
What I always found amazing was that there was this same 1,400 people in Chicago, Illinois, and Mannheim, Germany.
Oh,
right.
Yeah, the same in New Jersey too. No matter what the conventions you go to, it's always you run into. Hey, yes, I met you last year.
Yeah. And Theo and I,
Rick and I first hung out
ran into each other in New Orleans, I think, right?
Both gonna tell the same story.
So yeah, literally, you tell it. Your voice is much more sexy than mine.
No, I think yours is.
No. Yeah, we've met in New Orleans because we connected because we both happened to be in New Orleans. You were filming something, and I was just there for a vacation because I wanted to go. Been wanting to go for a million years. So we met and had several beers, and then fortunately we left each other late afternoon and did crazy. But then we had dinner in an all-night eatery in Thai Town in LA a little while later, and it was I feel like there's a few more interesting encounters in our future.
Man, 2021. That's all I'm saying. So,
Okay. Kidding. I think we're all long overdue for drinks.
Oh, definitely.
Way overdue. Yeah.
Any other questions out there in the fan world? Amanda, go ahead.
Do you have any funny, behind the scenes experiences that you can tell us?
Behind the scenes?
Yeah. Or just any, yeah.
Actually, Guy, I don't know if you remember this guy, but I think it was you were directing. We were shooting on the beach, and there was a boat. I think it was near Port Moody or something, and the tide was going out. And we were kind of it was last shot of the day, and the boat got stuck on the sand. And I had finished shooting for the day, and I think I was finished shooting for the entire season, I think. And I thought I'd be like a team player and go help out. So I wait. I'm like, I'm in my wardrobe, and I'm like, I'm done. So I'll just go in. So I wade in up to my knees and grab the boat and started helping the crew try to pull the boat up, and realized I had a $2,000 sound pack on my ankle. I was like, no good deed, huh?
Not good.
Yeah, no, that was the same thing where we had because the tide slowly went out. Nobody took that into consideration. The boat had beached itself, and I still wanted to do like a little push in on Jensen. And so we're like, well, we don't have time. We can't do it. So Jensen, to his credit, said, I got an idea. Keep the camera there and watch this. And so at the end of the shot where I wanted to dolly into a close up, he literally just glided into his own close up. And we kept him in focus, and you can't tell. It looks like the camera's dollying. If you realize it doesn't matter if the camera's moving or the actor's moving, and it achieved exactly what I needed. That just to show you how what kind of guy Jensen is.
Wow.
But yeah, I remember that. I remember the sound guys going, "Don't go in the." Oh well.
That's funny, man.
I can tell you one from a convention actually, Amanda, because you'll like this. Because basically, I played the Scottish guy obviously in the show, and I actually do have, like, most of my family is actually Scottish from Moray on my dad's side, but I obviously haven't spent that much time in Scotland. But I was at a convention, and Jensen came up to me and was like, "I meant to tell you when we were shooting, but after that summer we went to visit Scotland, and apparently he spent a week in Paris with his family, and then went to Scotland for a week. And he said, I wish I'd just spent the whole time in Scotland. It's my favorite place."
Oh, great.
So Jensen's favorite country outside of the US is Scotland. So, you know, might be able to
he likes the golf.
come and stay at a B&B nearby one summer or something.
Yeah, that's what Jensen told you. He told me.
He's all things to all men, isn't he?
He told me it was Ireland.
Oh, he's such a dear, isn't he? He just knows what dear. I believe it's Scotland. Between us, I believe.
So, Mr. McNally, are you drinking from a prop?
Who's that?
It's Fred Lehne calling from New Jersey.
No, hi there, Fred. I just want to say, by the way, I'm a massive fan of Firefly, so it's really good.
Well, I hope you didn't blink.
The show, but no, I'm not. I tell you what this is.
I love that.
This is I was doing a show a couple of years ago in Prague, and I had 3 times bought. You know, you see all the vendors, and I bought. I really like the cups and, you know, the medieval stuff. And 3 times I bought them, and they'd broken in the bag because they're basically made of wire and polystyrene. And I spent a great deal of money in Prague on this, and it's lasted me a long time. And I'm very happy. I managed to drink from glass.
I have another question for you. I know that your Lear was recorded. Is there some place where can we see it?
Well, you should go to I think it's called, well, it's the Globe website, and it will cost you very little money to watch it. And I may not have been the greatest Lear ever, but I'm certainly the funniest. So I recommend that you watch it.
Yeah, I certainly will. You know, the very first time I went to England, I was coming from LA. It was early 80s, I think. And I found out that Lear at the Old Vic, it was the day I was arriving in London, it was its closing night. So I bought tickets months in advance, and I was looking forward to it. And I forgot to, or didn't know, to take into account the time difference. So curtain went up about 4:30 a.m. my time, just getting off of an airplane. And that first act is a bitch, man. As you know, it's an hour 45 minutes. And I'm in the first row of the balcony, center seat, and the applause at the end of the first act woke me up. And I snore horribly, so I can only imagine how that went.
Well, I gotta tell you, Fred.
I'll stay awake through yours, I promise.
Thank you. But I gotta tell you, Fred, that's funny because while I was doing my run of Lear, I had 3 friends fly over from New York and LA to come and see me, and with all of them, we went for a drink, and they came and saw me the night they arrived.
Yeah,
a bit like you, and I met them all in the bar afterwards, and I said, "So what did you think?" And they paused just long enough, and I said, slept through the entire show, didn't you? And they went, we woke up in the storm theme.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
Speaking of snoring,
It's a long one.
on the
Man.
100, I was in a scene where my character was injured. It was on a gurney, and I'm notorious for being able to sleep anywhere, anytime. And I'm laying on a gurney, supposed to be unconscious, and they keep nudging me because I'm in the middle of the scene, and I could hear them, 5 of them, other actors standing over me trying to save my character's life, and them just giggling because I just kept snoring. And at one point, Rick Worthy nudges me and goes, "You started snoring, and she nudged you, and you woke up and went back to sleep and started snoring again in the scene." I've done it.
It's magic like that makes
Magic.
movies.
Well, actually, you know, Ty and I have actually worked on 4, if not 5 different series, but we've actually never have actually shared any scenes
Right.
together. We did Fallen eons ago, right?
Yeah.
We did Battlestar Galactica.
Yes, sir.
We did a show called Supernatural.
A little show.
A little show.
Little show called Supernatural that just went for 15 years. 15 seasons. And then we did The Man in the High Castle.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right. We should really work.
Another of my favorites, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. You were great, by the way, Ty. I love your work
Thank
and
you.
everything. But I rewatched Man in the High Castle like back in March, man. I just did this fucking crazy binge watch thing because I was just like, okay, we're in lockdown. Right? I said, okay, if I'm gonna die, I just want to check my work before I leave. Like, if this is it.
Yeah.
And I told Rebecca and Edwin this as well, and Eric, I was stranded. I was in London for my 53rd birthday, and which is March 12th. So I was in Paris for a week, and then I went to London. My brother and his wife, and their youngest son, they live and work in London. So I said, all right, I'll spend the birthday with the family. And then I think the World Health Organization declared a global pandemic on the 13th of March, I believe. So everything was shut down, like, like literally the morning of March 14th, it was like nothing. There was nothing happening in the city. And they told everyone to stay in and everything. I said, okay, this is serious, So I ended up staying there for 2.5 months, and like all of us, just quarantined and 23 hours a day indoor. I binge watched everything I did just in case this was it. I mean, whatever I could find online, I was like, okay, I'll watch that. I'll watch that. Okay, I like it.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be trapped in lockdown with my own performances. I don't think that would be the opposite of a comforting experience, right?
I just watched a show that I was like I didn't like I didn't like the editing, I didn't like the shooting, I didn't like my performance, and literally I just imagined that being the last performance of my witness before I died.
Like, damn it! There's no ADR. You can't go back and do reshoot. Fuck. Yeah.
And sadly, it was an ADR, which is the worst time to watch it. No. Oh no!
Well, I'm one of these weird actors. I love ADR, man. I love to be in the booth, and if there's a second shot at it, and if I love
it, but if there's no second shot at it,
right.
if you just watch
right.
Oh, no. No, you didn't. You did.
Yeah, you did.
They kept that scene.
We won't tell mom and dad about that one. Yeah.
Betty, I think you had a question.
Are you guys going to be doing any type of conventions coming up in the future?
Yeah.
Dallas Comic-Con's a really good one. I'm just saying.
I would love to be there.
Yeah, I'm supposed to go to the Dallas one and to the one in Las Vegas. There's one in January and then one in. I'm just hoping that I'll get a vaccine before then.
Right. I just got a list of about 5 for next year, and I'm just hoping beyond hope that I can make those, because I really miss them. I didn't realize how much I missed them until this last year, really, because they were always a wonderful little interjection between the work when you get to meet people, and you meet the fans, but you meet your old friends from various shows, I really miss them, and I'm hoping they come back soon.
And
Yeah,
I
definitely.
was the last one I went to was October of 2019. It was Sean Harry did it in Birmingham. I think it was after the big Birmingham one. But Sean had a smaller one, and I'm supposed to go back to that September as well.
I think I'm back in Birmingham this year. Hopefully that goes through.
Which one?
Yeah.
The Birmingham was with Sean.
I think
When you say Birmingham, do you mean Alabama or in England?
England.
My hometown. Yes, of course. Okay, great.
Yeah. One has an H,
My
one
last one
doesn't.
was in Liverpool. That was my last one. Liverpool.
Liverpool. I think I'm
January.
scheduled to be. I think I'm scheduled for Birmingham as well, but I have to check. I mean, there was another convention in November in England that in England, yes, which was canceled. But I think there's another one. There's another one coming up, I believe. Yeah. So
Rick,
it's
you didn't see this, but
I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the vaccine too. So
Rick, when you said Birmingham, I did this. Been too long, man. Been too long.
Man, we had so much fucking fun. Oh my god. I think who was I talking? I was talking to someone recently. I did a podcast and they were asking me about conventions, and I said, I love conventions. I didn't know what the hell they were really at first.
Yeah.
Someone called me from Supernatural and said, can you get to New Jersey tomorrow morning? We'll pay for the flight. It's for Supernatural. And I said, yeah, what do I need to do? Just get on the plane and come to New Jersey, Yeah. And at that time, that was like 10,000 years ago when I had Twitter, when I had my Twitter account. A lot of the fans were asking, are you going to go to karaoke night? And I was like, I don't know.
That's where I met you, was coming off the stage for karaoke, and you were like, because I think I was the only guy standing around and it was all women, and you just like walked up and said, finally a dude.
Exactly. There's another dude.
There's another guy here.
There's two of us. There's strength in numbers.
Yeah.
And I went exactly. And I went to the karaoke the next Supernatural convention, and then I understood how much fun it was, and then I really started enjoying the whole thing. But when Ty and I did a co-panel together in England, I realized just how much fun you could really have, because Ty is just I really learned how to have fun by hanging out with you. It was like whatever goes. It's okay. It's like we walked out on stage with beer mugs, and it was just, I was like, I love this guy because he gave me permission to really just kind of just be myself.
Yeah.
Well, I the only North American convention I've ever done was VanCon in 2017 or 16, and they have the complimentary booze behind the stage. I did live in Canada for a couple of years, and I do know that alcohol, the relationship with alcohol in Vancouver, probably with the exception of Utah, from what I've heard, is fairly moderate. So I drank about 6 or 7 pints, did the karaoke, ended up in the crowd dancing with people, and Creation have never invited me to another North American. I don't know if it was just my relationship with booze, really, that kind of, has blacklisted me.
Do not follow my lead.
I wish you'd been there, because you would have normalized my kind of, we could have, you'd be like, he's okay. This is just, he's all right. It's just,
he's all right. Yeah, it's okay, man. I mean, they gave me the boot too, and I know it. I'm glad they did. So
what is the difference? I've never been to the, I've gone to a couple, but I've never been to the ones overseas. What is the difference between the two for everyone who's done both? I know a collection of you have, and I've seen you there, but what's like the major differences?
Well, between Europe and the US?
Yeah, like the conventions.
I think they're all pretty much the same, really. I mean, if you get a bunch of people who love certain things together, it's a very friendly, loving environment. I don't differentiate. I think there's the ones in Europe seem a little bit wilder to me. I mean, I'm told, and I don't know, but there's a lot of fans get together in bunny costumes, I've been told, and attack each other all night. I've never personally seen that, but apparently that's a big thing in Europe.
I've never been to a convention in the U.S. These conventions that I'm going to next year will be my first ones in the U.S. I've only gone to mainly for Angel and Buffy, and then now for Supernatural.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And you've never been
Great
to one in
meet
the
you.
US? That's weird. I mean, that's.
Nope. No, I only go to ones people pay me for. I don't go on my. I'm not one of those people that goes and sets up a table and said, "Could you buy my picture, please?" I don't do that.
No, of course not. But a Greyhound bus is cheaper than a flight to Europe. I mean,
Yeah, I've had my fill of Greyhound buses. I don't think I'd rather hitchhike.
I have to.
Right.
I think. I mean, for me, from my point of view, I think I agree with Kevin. I think there seems to be like a lot more freedom at the conventions overseas, and particularly in Europe. Also, Australia. Ty and I did. I can't remember the name of the convention, but it was Australia and New Zealand, Armageddon Con or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was just fun, man. It was just one big party under one roof, and people from different shows and different comic book artists and different things, and it was amazing. My one complaint with some of the ones I did in the UK were like there would be a line of people, standing in line so I could sign their picture. And then there was always somebody standing over my right shoulder saying, "Could you go faster? Could you sign faster? Could you please sign faster?"
Oh yeah, that.
You know what I mean? Like that.
You got to scotch that. You got to tell them to get out of your
It fucking pissed me off because I was like, "Look, I'm not a robot. I'm going to look at someone in the eye and say hello, nice to meet you." And I really mean it, because I love meeting people.
No, of course, yeah.
Sign the picture and then go. But then they're like, "Can you go? Can you go faster, faster, faster?" Like I'm some robot or something.
And being a fan, that's awesome that you do that. That you'd sit there and look at the person and say, "Nice to meet you." Yeah.
Nice to meet you. What's your name?
Yeah, you have to tell them
time to come to see me.
You have to set the energy.
At least acknowledge that.
Yeah, you have to set the energy with the handlers, kind of like let them know how they can help you and how you're not helping me, and then go. Exactly. Now go get me a drink, please.
That's what I usually have to do. Go get me a drink, please.
But I think also that
longer and longer and longer with each drink that they bring us. We're talking to this person for 45 minutes.
Well, there's a big thing in some American conventions where they don't like alcohol on the floor, and you got to get very, very inventive about Gatorade. But also I think there's another thing I want to pick up on what Rick said is that I get quite annoyed sometimes with celebrities I see who are plainly just there for the money. If you don't want to meet people, don't go. Don't go.
Yeah.
If you're not a people person, don't go.
Right.
Because I've seen a lot of people who attend these conventions, and they come up to you and they express to you that they've waited a long time and spent some money, and they've been sort of summarily dismissed by.
Right.
There's a few people who do that, but not a lot. But that's not a nice thing to do. Yeah.
You don't find that with the supernatural actors, and I touched on this a little bit with the ladies Zoom, that with this group of actors, every single person that either has done a Zoom for the charity or I've interacted with at another event, or just I'm sure all these people, the fans, can back me up on this. Every single supernatural person, actor, director, whoever, has been so cordial, so nice, and just so. I used to be in journalism and do a lot of these like interviews and things like that. I think that's how I originally met you, Rick. You don't find that with every other show. The show is so different in that way, and I think that's why it's gonna last.
I think one of the reasons why it is that different is that the set itself, the cast and the crew, were just the kindest, nicest people I think I've ever worked with. It was the best set to be on that I think I've ever been.
Yeah, I'll second that.
And one of the cons I did go to, it was in Pennsylvania or whatever. It was paranormal, whatever. And I think I just missed you, Rebecca. Yeah, Parafest. and I just missed you.
Perfect.
But the panel Ty was on, it was Mark Shepard and Sebastian and the Ghostfacers. What's great about you guys is you guys talk to each other, and it was like you're holding this conversation for like 20 minutes. You went, oh, there's people here.
Yeah.
So, the closest of the group is funny.
Yeah, we enjoy each other's company and
Yeah.
we appreciate each other. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I wonder
But
why
that's
that is.
true.
I have wondered because I haven't done as many shows as the other actors here. Not because of my age, but no, genuinely, you know. So these guys are very prolific in terms of this, like the sci-fi and universe compared to me. And this is the only show I've done. But definitely, I totally validate that. Even compared with the theatre companies, you know, and in theatre companies, you have a real incentive to bond because you're spending so much time with each other, especially if you're touring.
Right.
But in Supernatural, it's the closest I've felt to an actual theatre company. And it's weird because you feel that ensemble spirit, even with people you've just met that morning, because you can share a conversation about the set and the culture of the show. And I don't know where that comes from. I don't know whether it's this maybe a combination of the subject matter and the themes of family and the personalities of the leads, because you know, sorry, Tom.
Oh, I think it comes from the top down. The boys are so generous with their time and with their openness and their welcoming other guests onto the show and stuff. And I've made my career guest on other people's shows, and I've never been welcomed so nicely as I was on Supernatural. It's just night and day difference, and I think it certainly comes from them, in my opinion.
Totally.
Absolutely.
I totally agree, and I mean, ditto what Ty just said. I have been, you know, probably a third to maybe half of my resume over 25 years in LA. You know, about almost 5 in Vancouver is guest star work. So, you know, you're a guest on someone else's show, you know, and I've had, I've had a couple of experiences, probably more than a couple experiences, where I couldn't wait to be finished because, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, you know, I'm happy to be here on this cop show that's maybe kind of rhymes with CSI, but but
Not naming names.
Yeah, not without naming names in particular, but you know, there's several of those kind of shows. But I couldn't wait to be done, man. You know, and I was like, wow, you know, this guy was just 20 years ago, maybe less than 15 years ago, was sitting in the hallway at Paramount waiting to go in for his guest role. Now he's on his hit show, and he's become an asshole. You know, so
well, you know, somebody once said to me that that you are a bucket and fame is water, and as soon as that hits you, you find out where the cracks are. You know, and on the whole, most people are great, and that's why I think all of us, you know, when we've been through our guest roles before we've, you know, got a little bit of stuff going for us, we remember that. And there are very few, but when they're assholes, they're real assholes.
Oh man, brother, you know,
yeah, it's
like,
true. I mean,
yeah.
No, I was going to say that, you know, having the perspective of floating between other Vancouver shows, Arrow, Magicians,
right.
Tomorrow People, you know, at the same time that that Supernatural is going on for those 15 years, the reputation they have on other sets is like, if as an actor, if you can get a guest spot on Supernatural, you'll have the time of your life. The boys are awesome to work with. I'll run into an electrician who's day playing on one of the other shows, and it's like it's like a reunion of like, because we have that shared thing. And this is like a guy who's plugging in the lights, and it's like, dude, we're fucking it. and you don't get that anywhere else. And you're right, top down, those guys, the reputation on that show for 15 seasons was you're always treated, you know, so well, and the guys are so giving, and also the crew. It truly was a family, and so that's the dynamic you don't see anywhere else.
I was in season 2 of Supernatural as a guest, and I came back in season 8. And I remember coming back in season 8 and then seeing all these crew members that I hadn't seen in the business for 6 years or something. And I'm like, oh, it's because you've been on this show the whole time. The crew just stayed on it. Like, and you never see, you got people there that were there 10 years, 15 seasons. Like, and I remember going, oh, that's where you've been. The whole, like most of your department have been around for most of the entire show.
Yeah.
Do from the crew side of things that these people stuck around for so long.
Who's the carpenter? Is it Dave the carpenter whose is it Dave the carpenter whose hobby is flying planes and he owns like multiple planes? And I was like, that's so awesome that you get like,
standby carpenter
just flying around the interior. You know, I'm like many British crew members who have like I collect planes and I fly them. You know, on my weekends. It's like awesome thing on Supernatural. Like,
Edwin, go ahead. You have a question?
Yeah, no, just it's really a comment. Like, you know, I've both attended and worked at conventions, and I find the Supernatural cast, guest cast and crew and everything, they are really, really friendly. It's a really pleasant atmosphere. And I think I've experienced it also with the Once Upon a Time cast. Lee Ehrenberg, your buddy Kevin from Pirates, he's amazing. And it's, you know, they're a really warm cast too, and it's fun. And then, like, you know, you work on the ones like Star Trek, and sometimes it's a little contentious, you know. So it's nice that the family atmosphere you get with like Supernatural, Once Upon a Time, and in Britain, like Doctor Who. I mean, you have actors from the 60s showing up with actors from the 80s and now, all like, you know.
But
great.
That's cool.
Edwin, just kind of tapping into what you said about like the stars and the guest stars with this show. I just want to say, and if anyone has questions, you can go. I just want to make a quick comment, just tying to that. It's like, yes, there is Jensen and Jared and then Misha, but the guest stars are still like, I mean, every single one of you who's been on the show, fans love you. Like, I mean, some of you have only been on like 2 episodes, and it's, you know, I mean, Fred, you're always going to be, I'm sorry, Yellow Eyes. Like, that's always going to be something that fans are gonna recognize and love you for. But you're still, you know, it's still, you're still all up there in, you know, the world of who they love meeting. I mean, you know, it's a testament to the show and to you guys and the impact you had on the show and the fans, I think.
Great.
Yeah, well,
I must say, you know, I did a couple of shows, I think, in Birmingham and Frankfurt with Ty and Rick. And I remember sitting in the green room with all of you guys and saying, I feel a bit of a fraud here because I've only been in 4 episodes. And then some other people said, well, I was only in 2. And I was only in 3. And yet people know exactly who you are. I mean, it's extraordinary.
Well, it's like, let me cut in here. It's a testament to how great you guys all are, because to create performances that are that memorable that the fans remember them so well and love you so much, and we'll rewatch those episodes over and over just to see Yellow Eyes or the Alpha Vamp or Benny. Hey, you know, it's you guys, how good you are, and also the casting. The casting was always, you know, top notch.
Spot on. Yep.
Yeah. So there you go.
I was very fond of the writing for my character.
Yeah.
Ross Lemming wrote most of mine, and she and Brad, you know, and it was just fun stuff to do. And they kind of, after the first episode, they just let me do what I wanted to do, basically.
Brilliant.
I would ask Tom Wright, the director, I go, what was that? What?
That's because you do it so well, Keith.
Because I had stuff written.
Do when they're shit. Okay.
I had stuff written well. Eugenie would just always say to me, "Don't fuck this up."
Hey, Guy, can I give you a compliment and a thank you?
No.
A couple. Vancouver actor Mark Hildreth messaged me out of the blue and said he had gone in for an audition with you, and somehow my name came up, and you said some things to him that he passed on to me that were so lovely and so complimentary.
Oh.
And they came at a time where I think I really needed to hear that from somebody.
Wow.
Well, because I haven't seen you in years, I wanted to say thank you so much for your kindness and for those kind words, because it meant a lot.
That's nice.
That's nice to hear. Thank you.
Because it was another actor who told me them and didn't have to relay the message. It wasn't like, hey, say hi to Ty. It was just you guys had a conversation, and he thought that too infrequently people get passed on good compliments. And so he passed it on to me, and I just wanted to tell you that it really meant a lot to me at the time when I heard it.
Well,
So
you're awesome, and I think the world of you. And someday soon we're gonna go have a pint, and I'll be able to yell action and cut at you again.
I would love to. And stay underwater.
Well,
That was great, but
I
let's
need-
try it this way, right?
Yeah.
I would love to add on to just sort of dovetail on what Ty just said. I did not know Guy B until I got to Vancouver, and my first day on set, he comes up to me and says, "Hey, I'm Guy B. I'm the director." And I was like, "Oh my gosh," you know. And I was taken by your. You have an amazing sense of calm and control. And artistry that just emanates around you, man, you know. And I was like, he's going to direct the hell out of this episode. Like I just felt so, like immediately felt so comfortable with you right away. We haven't even started shooting yet, you know. And I knew, and I was a little scared because, I mean, the role that I had, you know, the alpha vampire, he's the first vampire ever in the history of the world, you know. So I was a little, this is the kind of role where I was like, I know how I'm going to approach this role, but I'm going to need a little help, you know, getting there, you know, and you know, together, you and I mean, you tempered the level of horror, you know, that the character exudes, you know.
Yeah.
And I remember I did I think my first take, the first thing we did was me sitting in the chair in the cage, you know, and yeah, exactly, with the nails in the hands, right, and the dead man blood and all that. I was just so charged. I was ready to rock, you know. So I think we did one take, and then I kept waiting. As every actor, you wait for the director to kind of give you a, you know, peek out and give you a thumbs up. and then Guy came out and he went like this. He takes off and he goes. but then I remember you said something to me. You said just a little bit more in that direction there, you know, make it even more frightening, you know.
Right.
And I said,
Well,
okay,
yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Well, you know,
it worked like it worked like gangbusters. It was that's a director, you know, that's someone that the actor wants to work with, you know.
Well, the lexicon of the show, these guys have already, because that was season 6 or 7 or something. They've seen all these scary people, you know, including guys with yellow eyes, and so it's hard to scare them. So like I always, one of my favorite directing terms is let the dialogue and the gravity and the hair and the makeup do the heavy lifting. So you don't have to, you know, gild the lily too much. And you know, as a director, I don't direct, I just shove people in a direction. And if they're going in the right direction, I stand back and let it happen. And so you were amazing in that. And look what we created. I mean, it's still so memorable to this day.
I know Edwin has a question because he messaged me in a little chatty thing. And then we have a limited time left. So after Edwin, if anyone has any last minute questions, let me know.
Just going to very quickly say, Guy, we definitely want to see not just actors at conventions, but directors and writers. So when this all clears up, please start attending. If you can. The other thing is Fred, who's sitting there all quiet and unnoticed. I just want to say, Fred, if you are like based in New Jersey, then it would be great if you can make it to some of the conventions in New Jersey when COVID's over. They're like really local, and we'd love to see you.
Definitely, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Just send an invitation. I'll come. It'd be my pleasure.
That would be
I like it when you just show up. Tried it.
Surprise!
But I have to tell you, I think I have some kind of social anxiety disorder. I hear everybody else talking about how much fun they have there, and I you know, I've done maybe 10 conventions a long time ago, and I feel uncomfortable there. You know, maybe it's just in my head. It's my problem. That it has to do with like some sort of social anxiety disorder. I don't know why all these people want my autograph, and it makes me uncomfortable.
Well,
but I'm willing to try again.
We'll take you under our
We direct you to the free bar.
Yeah, don't worry, we'll take care of you.
You see, that was also a problem. You know, creation doesn't invite me anymore either. But I think that's how I think that's how I dealt with my social anxiety disorder. Seriously. But I'll have you know, when the lockdown started, I said, you know what, I'm not going to drink through this, and I haven't had a drink since, well, for almost a year now. because I don't want to do it in, I don't want that to occupy my time. In lockdown, it's too dangerous. It's been a very productive time, and I got to tell you, I'm real lucky. My wife and I get along wonderfully, and this time has shown us even a greater appreciation for each other and for our partnership, which is amazing. And it makes me think about all the people who, don't have a ginger in their life and are shut in alone. And that makes me think about those people who have pets, who have saved their spirits and shown them love throughout, this interesting time. And that's why I find what you're doing here, Rebecca, to be a very worthwhile cause, to coin a phrase.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Fred, are you sure you haven't been drinking?
Very moving soliloquy.
No, I'm starting to tell the truth and be open, even without the crutch.
That's lovely. If I can squeeze in a little addition to that to support that, it's like, there's been a lot that's been regrettable about COVID for so many people, and so many friends have been affected by it. My parents have just recovered from COVID.
Oh, good.
Darling, I can't see where your jacket ends.
The matches.
You are one.
We're matching.
Theo, I'm so happy that your mom and dad are okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. So they just recovered yesterday fully from it, and it was pretty scary. But we've been, my wife and I and the baby, we've been together, and it's like how many parents get to spend the first 10 weeks every day full time with their newborn? I mean, I could be anywhere now.
True.
That's
in our industry, it's incredible the memories that we've been able to, and like you said, Fred, to support that, the bonding that it gives you the opportunity to do with your partner, and I'm fortunate to have a wife who I adore and who, I'm extremely grateful for, and I've only become more grateful. So, as you say, it gives you time to pause to think of people that don't have that, and this opportunity with Zoom to actually reach into each other's lives again, if only visually.
I wanted to bring.
Can I quickly say something?
Sure.
No.
Before we sign off.
Well, just after Rick, after you're done, I know Lisa had a quick question. She hasn't gotten to speak at all, so I just want to make sure she gets a chance to when you're done.
Okay, I just want to say a couple of people have asked me on Instagram, is Buddy's Healing Paws my organization? Is it my fundraising group? It's Buddy's Healing Paws is Rebecca's organization, and she named it after my dog Buddy, who passed away. And I think a couple of you met Buddy. I know guys met Buddy. Beautiful chocolate Labrador. He was almost 13. He would have been 13 this year on Martin Luther King's birthday, actually, January 15th, 2020. And she said, "Can I name this amazing charity that I'm going to be doing? Can I name it after Buddy?" And I said, I said that would be amazing, So I help out when I can, and I repost when I can, and I whatever Rebecca wants, So, and I have to say that Betty, my dear, sweet, awesome, gorgeous friend Betty there, Betty Black, she gave this to. She had this made for me.
Oh, that's pretty.
Is that not cool or what?
That is cool.
Amazing.
And this is from a real photograph of me, because if you know Rick loves all things Mexican and Latino and Spanish. So I love churros. This is a bag of churros. And this is Buddy sitting in the car right next to me in Vancouver. We pulled up to this little Mexican spot on I forget the street, Nelson Street, I think. And then we're sitting in the car together, just chomping on churros and Instagramming live, and Betty chose this picture for the painting. So it's perfect.
Nice.
Yeah, so thank you.
Lisa,
I just wanted to introduce you guys to Pumpkin here, because he's actually what we're talking about. We discovered that this little fellow has been eating hair bands for
my God, so cute.
And he just had $1,000 surgery to have his stomach opened and all the content.
Wow.
So luckily my wife
Wow.
on him, but he could be the poster child for medical bills.
perfect timing.
Man, so beautiful, man.
Aww.
What's his name? What's her name?
This is Pumpkin. He's a boy.
Oh man, he's a handsome little guy.
He is a handsome little fella.
And we just saw Guy's little baby too.
Yeah, that's Luna.
I can't bring
Luna,
mine
yeah.
up. They're too big. Mine are too heavy to carry. One of them is
Christine.
actually crying. Lisa, why don't you ask your question while I let my dog in before he starts barking like crazy?
I was gonna ask Ty his dog's name, but he just told us. But who's your first cameo?
We have two. There's a white German Shepherd named Parker too, and so they make the odd
cool.
couple. This little 20-pounder and then a 75-pound white Shepherd. So they're an interesting couple.
That's awesome, man. I can't be friends with people who don't like dogs. So that's how.
Yeah, definitely.
Rick didn't say, but on the bottom of the picture that I sent to him, it says hashtag It's Buddy's World.
Yes, here it's Buddy's World. Yep, and I put I posted this on Instagram, and right away everybody was like, "Dude, that is the coolest painting! Wow!" Like so beautiful. And wait, I'm sorry. Go ahead. You guys got to take off just for 10 seconds.
Well, Eric, are you raising your hand? Or you're just putting your hand?
Yeah. I just had a question for Guy. Of all the episodes you directed for Supernatural, was there one that stood out that you liked the best? And then I had something for Rick to show him.
He's gone.
Yeah, no, we'll come back.
Oh, you're muted, Guy.
You muted. There you are.
That's it. Frontierland obviously comes to mind because it was
Yeah.
it was a fun time. I'd just seen True Grit twice. I'm a huge Coen Brothers fan, and so I'd seen True Grit twice. So when I got that script, I couldn't believe that I was going to get to do a Western. Of course, doing a Western in British Columbia in January, that's going to be some challenges, but we made it work. We had that old town from a TV show called Border Town that was still standing, a wreck, but it was still standing. But you're first, and Asylum is also a big favorite of mine too, because the show was so new. It was episode 9, I think, of the first season. So they had aired, it had already gotten their pickup. So everybody was on a real high about, we're going to get to go until April. So that was October. And I think my last day of photography was Halloween in Riverview, which is, as you guys, I think all know, that is an abandoned insane asylum in Coquitlam, I believe. And so there's certain floors and areas they tell you don't, unless you want to be, in other words, they're don't go unless you are prepared to see things you may not be able to unsee.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah. So that was kind of fun to shoot in all those rooms at night on Halloween.
Right.
So yeah, those two spring to mind. But I mean, I think, I have such great memories of obviously stuff I did with Ty and Rick, and those every episode has something I like about them. So they're all highlights. I did 11, I think, overall over the years.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's cool.
Wow, that's so cool. I didn't know you did 11. I knew you did a lot.
For Rick, I had this for Rick, but I mean, for the dogs and all that,
Dude, you know what? I want one of those for my 54th birthday. That's coming up in March. So,
Yeah, don't worry. You got one coming, buddy.
All right.
That's perfect, man.
We are actually out of time. I can't thank you guys, every single one of you, enough for taking your time out of your day to do this. To all my bidders, thank you so much for the donation. It helps immensely. We actually
thank you so much, Betty.
Help a lot of pets, and we have another one that we're going to help get some cancer treatment. So it's a really good thing. And thank you to all you actors and director for your time and for being amazing in what you do. And I want to say 2 quick things. First, Keith, I just saw you on Sons of Anarchy last night, and I forgot you were on it, and I was so excited. It's one of my other favorite shows.
I did a great job on that. What's his name? Kurt Sutter said that, he directed the last episode of season 3, and he goes, "I love your work. I have big plans for you." And he killed me off in the next episode.
That's kind of his personality, I hear.
May I tell you?
I think we've all been through that a time or two.
What was that? I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
I think we've all been through that a time or two.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
What'd you say, Fred?
Crazy.
Keith said, "Sir," so the 2 old guys started talking at the same time. No, that's happened a few times to all of us, I'm sure.
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
They love you. They love you. The script comes, you get a bullet in the head. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm like,
And all the cast members kept coming up to me. Did they let you know beforehand that they were going to kill you off? I go, no.
no.
And then when they killed me off, the best part was it was like 3 quick stab wounds, from Charlie in the gut. And spoiler alert if you haven't seen
Yes.
it. And then I bleed out, and it was like it was one take, and Paris Barkley, who was directing it and was the new EP on it, he comes and he goes, you are a great actor, and then walks away. Everybody left me. I was left there. It was the last scene that I did that he killed me off, and they completely forgot about me. The only way I found it back to base camp was because some costume PA was coming around looking for the costume.
Too funny.
I think we've touched on why we all love Supernatural. Because in the end.
And still people line up to get your autograph.
I love that show. It's my favorite show.
Wow. And my other quick thing, I just want to say, Kevin, I'm also a big Pirates fan, so this was awesome for me. Aside from the Supernatural thing, I'm a Supernatural fan, for years. So this is fun for me too, but it's about the animals. So thank you all. And that's it. I appreciate it, and I will speak to everyone again.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Rick,
It was nice to meet everybody.
Rick, good seeing you again.
Rest of
Nice seeing you, Ty,
Stay
Guy,
safe.
Edwin, Eric. I love you guys, man.
Yep. Merry Christmas. Yep.
Betty, you know I love you. You got my heart.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Nice to meet you all again.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye bye.
See you all at conventions in the future.
Hopefully, yes.
Definitely.
I'll
Yes.
see you. I will
Definitely
see
would love to
somewhere,
meet you.
I promise
Yep.
that. Yep.
Thank you. Bye-bye.